It's Boss Talk. Boss Talk. With Tressa Azarel, an award-winning publisher and CEO of Life-Changing Books Incorporated, a movie producer and owner of the Be the Boss program. She transforms dreamers into bosses, writers, and serial entrepreneurs. Learn how to develop your gifts and turn your talents into income with Tressa's unique, practical, and proven perspective on becoming a boss. Log on to TressaAzarel.com. Connect and learn the blueprint of a boss. Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected at TressaAzarel.com.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Boss Talk with me, Tressa Azarel, and my boy, CJ Blair.
What's happening?
As usual, we're bossing up. I'm trying to do everything brand new. Shout out to my sponsors who've made me brand new today.
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm excited about them. I'm going to tell you more about them later.
Keep cutting the check.
So listen, here's the thing. On today's episode, we have some amazing bosses coming to us.
Literally.
One with the name literally Amazing Grace. Okay, how about that? I'm so excited about this because we're taking entrepreneurship to a whole nother level, right? So for starters, I've been seeing all of your DMs, I've been seeing all of your emails, and you are like, how do I get refocused? Every time I have a setback, every time I have a challenge, they're like, they don't know how to bounce back. Because don't you have a lot of challenges and setbacks?
Yes, but we never lose, we just learn.
Yeah, when you have a setback, it's actually a win because it's teaching you something for when you get to the next level.
Absolutely.
So I'm so excited about today. CJ, what are we talking about?
Boss moves. Boss moves, oh my goodness. Listen, I'm concerned, not concerned, I'm so happy about this particular boss move.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a sale, it's not just money, it's millennials, it's the change in culture, it's the change in demographics, it's the change in generations, and I'm talking about the UFC. The UFC has sold for a whopping $4 billion.
I gotta fan myself for a
It
little
is
bit.
the highest selling franchise of all sports. The NBA, the NFL, hockey,
What's that number
soccer, $4 billion. And it comes from a guy who had a vision. Now we're talking about a sport that pretty much started in the backyards of people's backyards.
Yeah.
That have gone, it has surpassed boxing. They say it is a generational cult following because it is the perfect business model because it not only caters to men, but UFC is something like Disney. It speaks to all demographics. So you have women that watch the UFC. You have men, young men. It has surpassed boxing in gross sales and revenue.
That's how you get paid when you have something that speaks to the masses, right? It's okay when you have a business, you have a niche market, but you know, like the funeral business, right? Everybody gotta die. If you own a funeral home, you getting it. Everybody's dying.
Yeah. The reason, I think with the UFC, it speaks to the cultural change in the shift from the baby boomers, the Generation Xers, to now millennials. We come up, not to share our age, but we come up in the era
25.
of 25. I'm 25 with you.
25.
All right. We both came up in the era where boxing was king.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with boxing, we've both seen somebody win the fight but lose.
Yep, absolutely. Politics.
So it doesn't speak to facts.
Yeah.
And this generation is a generation where it's like, you know what? No, I need it to be what I think it is. I need the outcome and the optics to match. And the UFC has provided that, and that's why it's the #1 business amongst millennials. $4 billion?
$4 billion. $4 billion.
So I think that in and of itself is a boss move. Shout out to Dana. I think that is amazing. And watch this, they bought $4 billion from, they paid $4 billion for the UFC, but they gave the guy, Dana, a job. His job is to keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna take the company, we're gonna make it bigger, but we're gonna pay you to do what you already been doing. That's a boss move. So shout out to Dana, shout out to the UFC, shout out to all bosses that's trying to boss up. Now, we're gonna move on. We gotta get to our next guest after these commercials, after our sponsors. It's an amazing story. You gotta hear this young lady's story. Amazing Grace. Y'all come back.
I'm excited.
Absolutely.
We'll be back with more of Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel right after this.
Tressa Azarel Smallwood. I'm a book publisher and an executive movie producer. I'm here to talk to you about From Script to Screen, a 4-week program that will teach you how to take your concept and turn it into an amazing idea and take it to the screen. I've teamed up with Jamal Hill, writer, director, and producer of Brotherly Love, Deuces, and so many more movies that you're aware of.
Ever since I released my first movie, Brotherly Love, everyone's always asking me, Jamal, how do you break into Hollywood? Well, it starts with a great script. I'm gonna give you the cheat sheet on how to break down the doors in Hollywood.
I started with an idea, a book, Secrets of a Housewife. I knew at that time that I needed to adapt that book to script. I had to learn everything that it took to make sure that I had a quality product.
I'm gonna personally show you how to write great synopses and log lines and develop awesome characters.
Go to TressaAzarel.com. We have a free class coming up soon, and you don't want to miss it.
From script to screen.
Welcome back to Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected on social media at CEO Azarel. Now, more of Boss Talk.
Welcome back to Boss Talk with CEO Azarel. I'm CJ Blair. I'm so excited right now. I have a good friend, Grace Amazin. Her story is amazing. I got to share with you, Tressa, how amazing this girl's story. So, I'm working in the industry, attending different industries parties. This is around the time I'm doing Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yeah.
So this is like season 1. So this is years ago.
Right.
So we're at some event, and I don't know, it might have been, who was it, Gotti or Future, one of these guys. We at the event, and I see this woman. And I think, regular, pretty girl. But I started seeing her at other industry events, and we connected, and next thing I know, I saw her on TV, then I seen her acting, I seen her in Transitions, then I seen her with 50 Cent, and I'm like, wait a minute. Then I seen her with Rotimi. I'm like, wait a minute, this is more than just a pretty face. It was just amazing to see a woman, an entrepreneur in so many different facets. She has another business I really don't want to talk about, but welcome to the show, Grace Amazin. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Grace, your name alone, it just has me. The moment he said, you have to meet Grace Amazin, because just those 2 words, Grace, okay? Because I'm loving to talk about grace and mercy. And then amazing, okay? And so that brand itself, how long have you had that brand?
I've had it for about, over 10 years. And it's funny because Grace is my name, and people always say, Amazing Grace, Amazing Grace. I'm like, no, my name is Grace, and I'm amazing, amazing woman. So that's how I switched it to Grace Amazing.
I absolutely love it. Like, I want to wear a t-shirt that says Grace Amazing. So if you ever decide to do that, I'm going to wear it.
I got you, girl.
So tell me about this truck, Grace.
No.
No? Oh.
What?
Don't nobody want to hear about this truck.
Why not?
Okay.
Really?
You know what? Look at the clip. We'll come back.
Everybody wants to hear about the truck.
Just look at the clip.
We'll watch the clip.
It's right. Here you go.
Man, it's Friday, even though certain people try to draw me out and bring my spirits down and try to get me on some negative shit, I gotta stay positive, and at the end of the day, I gotta stay on top of my grind. Like, the bills don't stop coming in, so I can't let certain things and people stop me from trying to get to the money. So, gets back to the next hustle. That could go across the body. That one's a cute little clutch, and they got the little strap inside too.
Nope, I want this one.
Okay.
I want this one. I want this one. Okay. How much is this one?
You don't want the other one?
I want this one.
It's 44. I'll give it to you for 35. long in the back, short in the front, but it doesn't show all stomach and stuff, so don't worry about that.
Okay, how much is this
50
one?
for the set.
This is cute.
It's really, really cute. It's got the wide legs too, so you can wear flat shoes with it if you want.
I think this is such a cute idea.
Thank you.
I won't never make a truck. All right, so
Promotion and do something in the future.
yeah, definitely. Like I said, we're do you have bathing suits?
I do have some bathing suits. I don't think I have many left.
Well, I can tell you what I would need.
What would you need?
That we probably, we're doing a pool party on July 26th.
Okay. Do you need a bathing suit for yourself for that?
Well, I would want some of the models to wear bathing suits actually,
Okay.
and then I guess I need something, but mine can be closed. Like that ain't for me. Is that a bathing suit that you touching?
No, this is the like a little cage top.
Probably like a very sexy one piece.
Okay. Cause I have some one pieces like this. But
Okay.
it shows,
See, I could probably do that. Cause
This key, I need to hurry up. Trying to get to this Western Union. I got some Black Rhino. This deposit, he's gonna kill me.
That was awesome, Grace. Oh my goodness. That was fantastic. CJ, don't hate. CJ, we don't hate that boss talk.
Listen, that is not a good business.
What?
I'm gonna tell you why it's not a good business. And I need all the brothers in here, y'all better ride with me. Don't leave me out here by myself. See, my wife can go to Tyson's, she can go to Pentagon City, spend my money. However, the distance between my house and Pentagon City oftentimes leaves me a buffer or deterred. But here she goes, she gotta have not just the clothes. I'm used to dudes having clothes in the back trunk of the car. But she gotta have a whole,
Store on wheels.
That's what makes it
you gotta
unique.
have a dressing room.
Of course.
You gotta drive up to people's houses.
That's right.
You gotta have husbands like myself, money just going out the window because you can come up on lunch breaks.
I love
That's
it.
the
Grace.
convenience.
No, but then she got accessories. They got pocketbooks and purses and trinkets. That is not a good business for
I got
a
men
brother
stuff in
that's-
there too, so you can't get too mad.
Grace, listen, you have mixed two
Keep
things.
that.
Convenience and fashion.
Yes.
Okay? Because most people who don't have the time to shop, you roll up on them and it's cute, buying. You're a genius.
Thank you, thank you, thank
It's
you.
all right.
How did you get started, Grace?
I used to own a few clothing boutiques some years ago, and at the time, this is before the recession started hitting. I kind of started looking at things differently, and I was traveling a lot, and I realized that I actually liked the freedom of being able to go and not have to worry about the brick and mortar part, because having more than one store is like a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
So, I noticed like the food trucks popping up everywhere, and one day I just sat and thought about it, and I was like, you know what? How can I be able to enjoy my life, travel, do other things, and still be in retail and fashion?
Yeah.
And I said, what if I did like a fashion on wheels? And I told a couple people that, and they were at first like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. And one thing about me, I've always been self-motivated and a trendsetter. So I was like, you know what? I don't care what anybody says, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. So I did it. I went and acquired the truck, got the truck. This is over 4 years ago. And got the truck and got it going. And once I did it, everybody was just, even till this day, people are like, what is that?
Yeah. But the naysayers now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ones who said, I don't know about that. They are either purchasing from you or trying to do what you do, right?
True. Or they're working for somebody else who's doing what I'm doing.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I always say, forget about the naysayers. If it's something you really want to do, go do it. Go get it. And that's pretty much what you've done.
Absolutely. It's like having your dream and working for yourself is a dream. Either you work for yourself and that's your dream, or you're going to work out somebody else's dream.
Yeah.
So Grace, tell me, Grace does so much. You're truly amazing. Like,
Thank you.
I'm honored. I tease about the truck because it costs me a lot of money. My wife utilizes.
You're a boss,
a
though.
little
That's the
bit too
price to
much.
pay when you're a
It's all
boss.
the way good. But I never knew Grace was the ultimate hustler. I just thought you was a promoter. I thought you was an actor. I see you with Rotimi. I always pronounce his name wrong?
You say it right, Rotimi?
Rotimi. I seen you handling him. I know we was trying to get some guys from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Grace, he's trying to charge me $25,000, and she's like, let me call him. I'm like, what? She's like, let me call, because Grace has an orphanage.
Not an orphanage, have a nonprofit.
A nonprofit that deals with young people
Yes.
over in Jamaica.
Wow.
I do a lot of stuff. I am like the ultimate hustler because I haven't worked for anybody in over 12 years. So once I started working for myself all the way, like 100%, I never looked back. And I just feel like in today's time, you have to have more than just one thing going on. You gotta have a little bag coming from here, from there, wherever. And my nonprofit is called Grace Period. I started that over 7 years ago. And my nonprofit, I work with predominantly underprivileged teenage boys and girls, but I do a lot of stuff in DC, also in Jamaica. And matter of fact, in spring I went to Haiti, to Port-au-Prince, and I did a mission out there. So I love giving back, and that's a big part of me and the grace that comes with me.
I love that.
So I do that, and also, you know, of course, 50 is the big boss. He's a friend, and I've worked closely with some of the brands like he's worked with. This is 50. When he was working with some of his other things, and so I'm kind of, you know, have my hands in different things. Acting is my main focus right now, and that's the direction I'm headed. Eventually, one day, the goal is to be able to take the fashion truck and have fashion all over around the world. That's my ultimate goal, because I don't want to just limit to one thing.
I love it, Grace.
I
love it. I'm so glad you graced us with your presence.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
This is not going to be the last time that you're on here with us for Boss Talk. We're gonna be good friends. Okay.
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it, guys. You know we love hanging out with bosses.
Grace is definitely amazing, but you can keep the truck away from my house. I'm just playing. I appreciate you.
We'll pop up for you. You don't expect it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, we love it. We love
She
it.
will pop up. Listen, that's Grace Amazing. We have more amazing guests that's coming on this next segment of Boss Talk.
We'll be back with more of Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel right after this.
I'm Tressa Azarel Smallwood. I'm a book publisher and an executive movie producer. I'm here to talk to you about From Script to Screen, a 4-week program that will teach you how to take your concept and turn it into an amazing idea and take it to the screen. I've teamed up with Jamal Hill, writer, director, and producer of Brotherly Love, Deuces, and so many more movies that you're aware of.
Ever since I released my first movie, Brotherly Love, everyone's always asking me, Jamal, how do you break into Hollywood? Well, it starts with a great script. I'm gonna give you the cheat sheet on how to break down the doors in Hollywood.
I started with an idea, a book, Secrets of a Housewife. I knew at that time that I needed to adapt that book to script. I had to learn everything that it took to make sure that I had a quality product.
I'm gonna personally show you how to write great synopses and log lines and develop awesome characters.
Go to TressaAzarel.com. We have a free class coming up soon, and you don't wanna miss it.
From script to screen.
Why not travel in style with the premier luxury transportation experience, Luxury Rides International? Whether it's corporate travel, weddings, or a night on the town, Luxury Rides International draws from their more than 20 years of experience to provide upscale service to each of their clients. Currently, they're featuring the stylish Mercedes Sprinter limousine with extra-large full-length double-style seating with state-of-the-art audio and video technology, surround sound, Wi-Fi and smart TVs in the front and rear, powerful subwoofers, also featuring ECB touchpad controls with Maybach-style indirect lighting with a refreshment bar, custom privacy blinds with a rear partition wall for privacy. For your next group outing, call Luxury Rides International at 1-844-207-7746. That's 1-844-207-7746. Or email luxuryridesinternational@gmail.com. Welcome back to Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected on social media at CEO Azarel. Now, more of Boss Talk.
We're back. We want to welcome our guest, the consummate entrepreneur, Rhett Butler. We fancy. Rhett, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Azarel.
I like the watch, Rhett.
Rhett, you look real nice. Let's just talk about this. You look like, I don't even want to say $1 million. You know, we've been talking about, like, you look like you getting millions.
Oh man, I appreciate that. That's the mentality I want to keep.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
So, Rhett, of course, I know about all of your boss moves. I know what you're doing in the industry. I know what you're doing in the community.
Sure.
But what would you say? I know I think of you as a brand manager because you have all these different brands that you manage, all of these different businesses going on.
Sure.
But tell us, what is the easiest way to sum up what you do?
Yeah, I think I'm a brand manager would be accurate, or even a brand strategist. Yeah. I think if you break down the word brand, which means perception, I understand how people want to be perceived, whether that's themselves or their business. and I help drive that direction in various amounts of communication, strategic partnerships, and different efforts to make sure that they are translated correctly to the community at large, whatever that community might be for their business or themselves.
Ooh, I love it. Can you transform me?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you don't need much transformation.
Listen,
You're transforming people.
I'm just, that was real nice. Do we have a check for Rhett?
I need some transformation.
Man, I got you, man. First, we want to keep that truck away from your wife's house. 'Cause
You can transform. I would like to be transformed into the presidential role.
oh, man. Hey, man. In a past life, I did pretty well.
I see.
So, Rhett, one of my questions is, when I think about all of these entrepreneurs, right, and especially all the entrepreneurs who tune into Boss Talk,
Yeah, absolutely.
they all have these different ideas, they have these different concepts that they want to implement.
Yes.
I always tell them, figure out what your brand is first, because you know, if you say that you want to sell clothes, if you say you want to do, you know, work in another industry, if you don't have a brand, nobody's coming to do anything with you because they don't know who you are. So what are some of the best tips that you can give us to, you know, stepping up and starting to build a brand?
Well, I think first you have to understand who you are as a person.
Okay.
A business is an extension of yourself, correct? A business, in essence, could be you. I see a lot of quotes you have about keeping certain things separate because the perception is key. So sometimes you can't let everybody know everything about you. You have to keep the brand intact because people are going to read into what you're putting out. That's where the consummate comes from, consistency. So I tell folks, especially in the digital media and social media age, be very mindful of how you're translating who you are in your lifestyle. Because the brand now is so attached to how you live and how you interact with people, how you present yourself, that you have to be very careful with every single detail. I mean, it really gets down to the minutiae. Certain people on your team that understand that very well, that I look up to.
Yeah, you know, one of the things for me, I always tell the heads of all of my departments, I don't want to see you panicking. I don't want to see you telling me, oh my goodness, don't do it. Don't do it. Because I need to tell me what the solution is. And the other thing is everybody's watching us. So if you panic, the rest of them are panicking,
Big time.
right?
Big time.
And so here's another pet peeve of mine, and you can just slap me on my hand and tell me if I'm wrong.
No problem.
The Facebook thing, where they change the mood that they're in. Nobody cares if you don't feel good.
Who cares?
That's funny.
I don't understand. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're not wrong at all.
Why do people do that? And how do we get them to change their mindset about
Because
that?
they have it differentiated between personal and business. And if you're going to have a separate page that speaks more to your family and true friends about how you're feeling, even though you can just pick up the phone and call them.
Hello.
Old school technology, why don't you?
Why?
But unfortunately, it's easier to just click an emoji, which now conveys an emotion. But what most people don't realize is that I should never know that you're down. I should always feel uplifted from your brand.
Exactly.
Who wants to be around sadness and gloom? Everybody wants to be around happiness.
Can you imagine with all of the challenges that I'm hit with on a daily basis, if every time I had a moment, you know, I'll get a call and they say, oh, you know what, you need $30,000 extra, and I'm looking. Can you imagine if I get on Facebook, if I get on Instagram, and I tell you, oh my goodness, it's not looking great. I need extra 30 grand. No.
Nobody wants to, correct.
Okay, I'm gonna do like this, and
dust
I'm
yourself
bossing
off
up.
and keep it flowing.
Yeah.
No, you have to, and again, that's where the consummate consistency comes in. People believe in the Azarel brand. People trust in it. It's something that you know is rock solid.
Absolutely.
And we all know you're going through any issue in life as a person.
Absolutely.
But we also know you're going to make it through because of who you are. That's what the brand means to me. And
I need you on my team, Brett. How much you cost?
I'm already on your team.
How much you cost? I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. And I want to talk about just being versatile.
Yeah.
You know, like I've switched careers so many times. The fear is always there in the back of your mind, but you have to still keep pushing forward. I went from journalism to being a fight promoter, living in Las Vegas, and I'm from New York City.
Wow.
Living here in DC, consultant. I mean, you've switched so many times, but you have to move with the times, keep your brand consistent across all platforms, all industries, and know that you're going to be able to propel yourself if you're prepared for anything.
And you say keep your brand consistent.
Yes.
Now, we know with the advent of social media, a lot of people think branding is like, let me just keep posts going 4 times, 5 times a day. I want you to speak to that camera because there's a lot of people that know what branding is. We have a lot of multimillionaires that watch this show, a lot of business owners, but we're also informational. And there's some individuals there that don't know what branding is and think it's just posting. Could you share with our audience exactly what that is?
I always, a good friend of mine was a director of multicultural marketing for Time Magazine, and he always told me, if you ever want to understand what branding means, never forget, brand means perception. How do you want to be perceived? If If you want to be perceived a certain way, you'll keep it consistent across photo shoots. You keep it consistent across messaging in terms of verbal. You won't post yourself in non-conventional or climatic environments that make people think you don't have your stuff together when you're not staging something. And authenticity. I think people can sense genuineness.
Absolutely.
And I think when you're putting on airs or you're purporting an image, because it's easy to do so with a post, it's translated very easily to those that this is falsified.
Absolutely. Ooh.
I got chills.
Yes, Rhett. You the boss.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
Rhett, I need you to tell them how they can get in contact with you, keep in touch with you, because you're amazing.
Thank you so much. You can reach me at R.Butler Associates. That's rbutlerassoc.com. That's my consulting business. At Instagram, on Instagram at Rhett E. Butler, also on Twitter, Facebook as well. So please find me. Gone with the Wynn. You can't forget my name.
He'll be with me too. You know, bosses, we all hang out together.
Big time. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Thank you for being on the show, man.
Thank you.
Coming up next, we have a dynamic couple. They were also in promotion, boxing. I said promotions and boxing. It sounds like it's a thing going in there. I think you might need to get in promotions and boxing. Bay of Business is coming up next here on Boss Talk.
We'll be back with more of Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel right after this.
I'm Tressa Azarel Smallwood. I'm a book publisher and an executive movie producer. I'm here to talk to you about From Script to Screen, a 4-week program that will teach you how to take your concept and turn it into an amazing idea and take it to the screen. I've teamed up with Jamal Hill, writer, director, and producer of Brotherly Love, Deuces, and so many more movies that you're aware of.
Ever since I released my first movie, Brotherly Love, everyone's always asking me, Jamal, how do you break into Hollywood? Well, it starts with a great script. I'm gonna give you the cheat sheet on how to break down the doors in Hollywood.
I started with an idea, a book, Secrets of a Housewife. I knew at that time that I needed to adapt that book to script. I had to learn everything that it took to make sure that I had a quality product.
I'm gonna personally show you how to write great synopses and log lines and develop awesome characters.
Go to TressaAzarel.com. We have a free class coming up soon, and you don't wanna miss it.
From script to screen.
Welcome back to Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected on social media at CEO Azarel. Now, more of Boss Talk.
Welcome back to Boss Talk with me, Tressa Azarel, and CJ Blair.
What's happening?
Listen, we are here with bosses
All
today,
right,
okay? We're here with our Bay and Biz couple, Marty and Isra Wynn. Y'all look fantastic. Y'all look like $1 million.
Thank you.
Can I get a check?
Sure.
Listen, you know I love them. They said, of course. These two amazing people have been in business together, okay, for how many years?
19.
Yeah.
Wow. Let me just be very clear. I've been married for 21 years, and my husband kicked me out of the business the first year we were married, okay?
I can understand completely.
It didn't work out, guys. So I know for those of you all who are at home watching, if you are trying to do business with your mate, you have a lot of questions for them. You want to know how did they do it? When did they get started? So we have tons of questions.
Absolutely.
And you know, it's funny because CJ and I, we both been married. Well, I've been married 21 years. CJ's been married for 10 years. And so a lot of times when I hear him speaking with his spouse in business, I can offer some suggestions.
Sure.
Right.
And then I say, well, why can't I take my own suggestions?
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm failing sometimes.
It's
So
almost like that.
just tell us when did you guys first start going into business with one another?
You go first.
He's already winning. He said,
Right.
babe, he looked at you like
Yeah.
you go first, babe.
You can clean it up later.
That's probably why I'm losing.
No, when
Lessons over here.
when we first met, I was in boxing and I met him, and you know, he owned a business. I was my own boss as far as boxing is concerned. So we got along in that way, and then he decided to get into boxing, so became a promoter, and we had our ups and downs in that business.
A lot.
So
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
He's the promoter.
yes,
So when you say get into boxing, you was already in boxing.
I was already.
What were you
So
doing?
what were you doing?
I was a fighter.
Oh, you was doing the boxing.
I was doing the
Oh,
boxing.
this is role reverse. This is good.
This is real good.
Yes.
I got hit. Wait a minute. So you were doing the boxing,
I was doing the boxing.
and you
yeah.
became the promoter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he started promoting me, and I always felt like I never got a check because he would never pay me.
Yeah.
But
He's like, I got us, boo. He was like, I got us, boo.
But the thing
You know
was,
my ladies are loving this, right?
yes, I know. But I had to understand that
Yeah.
it was the company that owned the business,
Yeah.
and I was boxing for the company, so the money was coming to us anyway. So I had to kind of get over that part.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And then you transition later into what? How did that
Well, we
work?
transitioned into real estate.
Okay.
He was doing the investing. I became a real estate agent, so I was the agent on all the investment properties. So we got along that way.
I love it. So here's always my number one question. How do you overcome the challenges and the disputes? Because one, you're married, you gotta go home together regardless, and then you have to run this business together. So how does that work?
Well, we have a ring in the basement.
You
Really?
I'm just playing.
You don't. You know, it's so funny because Isra and I butt heads all the time. And Isra's more fitness, I'm more finance.
Yeah.
And Isra I follow her well, she wants to save the world, right? For free.
I love it.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that, but we got bills.
Yeah.
Right? But it was so funny. Just not too long ago, someone came to us and said you should start something called Fitness and Finance. That way, you guys don't have these arguments. Because we married, we have these ups and downs, we have children, and so on and so forth. So it's a balance. It truly is a balance, and you learn over time how to deal with that balance and respect each other in business.
Do you find that no matter what your position is, you have to have that level of submission?
Oh, I hate that word.
I know, but it's
Absolutely,
real.
yeah, it's
real.
true. It's true.
And it's tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's tough for me.
When he used to tell me all the time in the beginning of our relationship, you have to submit, and I was like,
what are you talking
please
about,
don't say that word. That word is like
That's a great
nails
word.
on
It's a
chalkboard.
wonderful
Love
word.
that word.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to realize that we both have roles in our marriage, in business and in life. So I had to understand that was just a part of life. I had to realize that I have my place, he has his place, and it works better that way.
And we have to submit too.
Yeah.
Right? We have to submit too.
We what?
We have to submit. See,
Yeah, we do. That's the
Yeah,
Bible.
see,
The Bible
yeah,
says
yeah.
submit yourselves one unto another.
that's right.
But Marty, me and Marty go back. Like Marty's dad and my uncle were entrepreneurs.
That's right.
But Marty was always quick to the business. Like Marty used to get paid to who could open the door the fastest. And he would run to the door all the time and open the door and always win and never share with the rest of us. However, somebody had to give him some wisdom and some understanding, like let them win. But Marty was in the ice cream trucks and candies and all those type of things when we was youngest. And I was incarcerated at the time and looked on TV, and I was looking at the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is Marty doing in the room with Mike Tyson? How did you transition from ice cream trucks and all the businesses that you ran to?
It was timing. I didn't know it was timing, but it was timing. It was God's timing. And I think that, it was so funny when I owned the barbershop, Marty's Unisex, in Salon Nouveau. A gentleman came to me a long time ago. He said, if I quit, you won't make any more money. I said, you're right. And I had met Isra at the time. Don King came downstairs, of course. I hollered at Don. I knew Debbie, which was his daughter. And I really jumped into boxing. My wife was kind of my crash dummy, believe it or not. And it was timing. She got management, a gentleman by the name of Casey Danziger. And I stood around that, been around that, and she was fighting at the time, I think, Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. And I was able to meet Al Luciano and all these guys. And I was the young Afro-American kid that sat in the meeting.
Yeah.
And I was just this sponge. And I said, if I mess up, I might as well mess up on her promotion. But we didn't. We didn't. We started that company in 2003, promoted Mike Tyson in 2005.
Wow.
So the company grew quick.
We got to go ahead and take care of our sponsors. We got so many sponsors, so we got to take care of our sponsors. We'll run the commercial. We'll be right back. I want to get more of this on Boss Talk with Marty and Isra.
We'll be back with more of Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel right after this. Why not travel in style with the premier luxury transportation experience, Luxury Rides International? Whether it's corporate travel, weddings, or a night on the town, Luxury Rides International draws from their more than 20 years of experience to provide upscale service to each of their clients. Currently, they're featuring the stylish Mercedes Sprinter limousine with extra-large full-length double-style seating with state-of-the-art audio and video technology, surround sound, Wi-Fi and smart TVs in the front and rear, powerful subwoofers, also featuring ECB touchpad controls with Maybach-style indirect lighting with a refreshment bar, custom privacy blinds with a rear partition wall for privacy. For your next group outing, call Luxury Rides International at 1-844-207-7746. That's 1-844-207-7746. Or email luxuryridesinternational@gmail.com. Welcome back to Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected on social media at CEO Azarel. Now, more of Boss Talk.
All right, this juice is getting good. So, Mike Tyson?
Yes.
Okay, tell us more.
So we transitioned, long story short, we transitioned to Mike Tyson. I met Shelly Finkel, the manager at the time. He said, hey, you want to do the fight? You can do the fight. It's going to cost $5 million. I didn't have it, but somebody did. And the beautiful thing about business is that once you have, I like to say, the cream of the crop, the investors will come.
Yeah.
And I always talked about using other people's money to make money.
Absolutely.
And so we promoted the Mike Tyson fight. He lost. We made money. Of course, you know, we had a big loss, so we shoot Showtime and all this other stuff. And that was 2 years in the making, but we won that suit, of course. And then, of course, we transitioned to real estate.
Bossing up, Isra. We done won.
Yes,
we won.
Yeah. So real estate was good. Real estate has been great. Today we have 4 bed and breakfasts. I should say vacation rentals.
Okay, can I come there? I need a, you know, I host a lot of writers. Okay, writers, I'm checking for you right now, okay? We need a spot for our writers retreat. So we're gonna need to talk about that, okay?
Absolutely.
Because writers, we need places to go where it's peaceful, it's quiet, you're in your own zone. No husbands, no wives, just you, your pen, and your laptop.
That's right, yeah.
So I love that, I love that. You own 4?
Yeah, we own 4. in
Wow.
DC.
So just basically having multiple sources of income seems to be the key.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love
You
it.
always have to have multiple streams. You
I
know,
love
you never know when one's gonna
Yeah.
teeter.
So I want to end with this. What's the best thing about being in business with your mate?
Let me go first. You see, I go to sleep with my wife and I wake up with my wife.
Yeah.
You know, that's the best. And I grew up and I watched my father take care of his family, take care of my mom. And I want my wife to be able to, and my kids to be able to be raised by us and not by society.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Well,
what about for you?
I believe that the best thing is to keep, of course, all the money in the same household.
Yeah.
When we always say that I'm his right brain and he's my left brain, so we both have strengths and weaknesses that we both make up for, and we know each other so well that we can criticize each other and help each other to grow in different areas, and that's the best thing, is just growing together and helping each other.
I love it. I love it. Are you inspired? You want to stop and get Ebony a gift on the way home? Because I mean, this is so wonderful.
I think I am.
This is so wonderful. Everybody out there, do something great for your mate tonight, okay? It's great to be an entrepreneur, but entrepreneurs need love too, okay? That's a good t-shirt, y'all. Anybody who makes t-shirts out there, get that t-shirt, okay?
Man, I'm so grateful for you being here.
Thank you for having us.
I want you to look in that camera. I want you to speak to individuals like myself who have had challenges in being in business with their mate. I love my wife loves me. However, my wife does not love me as Mr. Blair.
Right.
She loves me as CJ.
Right.
But when it's Mr. Blair, she doesn't respond in that manner. So what would you say to those individuals? We don't want to tear up the marriage.
Sure.
At the same time, we want to prosper in the business.
Right.
When you're the left side of the brain and you're the right side of the brain and y'all have a disagreement on which way y'all supposed to go, who gets the final say so?
My wife.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
a smart guy.
Smart
That's a
man.
smart
There
guy.
you go.
Always my wife.
Yes.
But the thing is, I will tell you this much. The thing is that I believe there's time for business and there's time for family.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be able to separate the two, and sometimes that's hard as an entrepreneur, so there has to be a cutoff time, and I had to learn that. So, cut your time off.
That's
Always
right.
winning.
Got it.
The Wynns, Marty and Isra Wynn.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, man. We love you so
excited.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you
So
so much.
excited.
God bless
Y'all
you.
awesome.
Listen, we'll be back later, I guess, tomorrow, next week. I don't know. When will we be back?
We out though. We going
outta
to
here.
Boss Up.
Boss Up? That's what's next?
Q&A.
Q&A? More
Oh.
boss talk. And another word from our sponsors.
We'll be back with more of Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel right after this.
I'm Tressa Azarel Smallwood. I'm a book publisher and an executive movie producer. I'm here to talk to you about From Script to Screen, a 4-week program that will teach you how to take your concept and turn it into an amazing idea and take it to the screen. I've teamed up with Jamal Hill, writer, director, and producer of Brotherly Love, Deuces, and so many more movies that you're aware of.
Ever since I released my first movie, Brotherly Love, everyone's always asking me, Jamal, how do you break into Hollywood? Well, it starts with a great script. I'm gonna give you the cheat sheet on how to break down the doors in Hollywood.
I started with an idea, a book, Secrets of a Housewife. I knew at that time that I needed to adapt that book to script. I had to learn everything that it took to make sure that I had a quality product.
I'm gonna personally show you how to write great synopses and log lines and develop awesome characters.
Go to TressaAzarel.com. We have a free class coming up soon, and you don't want to miss it.
From script to screen.
Why not travel in style with the premier luxury transportation experience, Luxury Rides International? Whether it's corporate travel, weddings, or a night on the town, Luxury Rides International draws from their more than 20 years of experience to provide upscale service to each of their clients. Currently, they're featuring the stylish Mercedes Sprinter limousine with extra-large full-length double-style seating with state-of-the-art audio and video technology, surround sound, Wi-Fi and smart TVs in the front and rear, powerful subwoofers, also featuring ECB touchpad controls with Maybach-style indirect lighting with a refreshment bar, custom privacy blinds with a rear partition wall for privacy. For your next group outing, call Luxury Rides International at 1-844-207-7746. That's 1-844-207-7746. Or email luxuryridesinternational@gmail.com. Welcome back to Boss Talk with Tressa Azarel. Stay connected on social media at CEO Azarel. Now, more of Boss Talk.
Welcome back to Boss Talk. This has been an amazing episode. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm probably most excited about the fact that Isra used to be a fighter. Champion. That's a girl boss for real. That's real serious. And I'm really going to her bed and breakfast, okay? So I'm already packing. So listen, we're going to take this question. I love the fact that you guys are sending in lots of questions. You can email them in. You can send them via DM. Make sure you're following me, CEO Azarel. I'm going to spell that for you, Azarel. CJ, tell them how to find you, because they need to send questions to you too.
CJ Blair _speaks. CJ Blair _speaks on Instagram. CJ Blair everywhere else.
So, although we have tons of questions, I want to take one right now. This young lady says, what made you take the leap of faith? And I guess she means into entrepreneurship, right? So for me, my leap of faith moment came when I actually published my book. I was already on bed rest, and I was planning on going back to work. But I took that leap of faith, and I just didn't go back to work because I put the book out. And I realized, wow, I made 40 grand off of a book. And I was making 42 grand with a master's degree as a school teacher.
Wow.
So I think for me, it was like, okay, I definitely asked my husband, and the moment that he gave me that check mark, you can stay home, you can try this. And I think for him, it was a matter of supporting me, and he probably thought, let me just let her do her thing, make her happy, but she has this degree, she's gonna go back to teaching. I don't think he ever thought that it was gonna turn out to be like this. I certainly didn't. I didn't realize that one book would turn into a multi-million-dollar publishing house.
Wow.
So
I'm so glad it did.
I'm so glad it did too. I'm so glad I took that leap. So I think for me, when I teach other people about entrepreneurship and what to do in business, I always say, don't take the leap of faith if you are not financially ready to take the leap of faith. I had a husband. So that meant I wasn't gonna go hungry. I wasn't gonna get the final notices coming. I wasn't gonna get the lights turned off. So I think that's the difference now. People hear my story and they're like, oh, I'm not going back to work. Tressa Azarel didn't go back to work.
Right.
It needs to be a strategy. So that's really important.
I think for me it was, I always knew I didn't want a job. I always knew I didn't want to work for anybody.
You're not the 9 to 5 kind of guy.
Ever. So it wasn't a leap of faith for me. I've never had a real job.
Yeah.
I worked one
That's real
job
bossy.
in one life for parole purposes. Y'all know my story. But no, I think, I remember back in the days, Marionbury had a youth program.
Yeah.
You get to clean the buses and they'll give
Yeah.
you some money for school lunch and you could buy school clothes and get a credit for school. And I did that. I cleaned buses at Brentwood Bus Lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Getting the magic markers off the seats and the gum off the floor. And
You was doing that real work.
Then, I don't want a job.
Yeah.
I want to own my own. I want to have access to my finances. I never understood the concept of working for someone else. Because if you can pay me $100,000 a year, how much am I making you?
Preach.
Yeah, if you can give me that kind of money, I must be making you something. So I knew I wanted to be a check writer, not a check receiver.
Yeah.
So it was just my calling to keep walking in. It's hard though. It's
Yeah.
definitely hard. This is a 40 plus year old
We
journey.
25.
25.
25. We're
This is a
25. Don't get it
25-year
twisted.
journey that I've been on, and it's been hard, but it's been worth it, and I wouldn't do anything else. other
Yeah.
than
I'm gonna tell you right now. I would rather sweep streets than to have a 9 to 5. Okay. And I am so passionate and so real about that because I have experienced both sides. When I was a school teacher, I loved teaching the children. I teach literally, every week of my life now, I'm teaching something. So I'm still in that realm. So it's not like that I wanted to leave the field. It was just that I didn't want to punch a clock. I'm not for punching clocks.
Absolutely.
And so if you don't want to punch a clock anymore, you need to stay tuned to Boss Talk because eventually your time will come where you can transition out of the workplace, okay? But you have to do it strategically. So stay with us.
Stay with us.
Stay tuned in and make sure you go to TressaAzarel.com to find out about my free classes to teach you about entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. Well, that's all our time. To the next time. We want to thank our sponsors, Hush Boutique.
Thanks for all of these nice little clothes here, Hush Boutique.
Hush Boutique.
The setting.
Nataya Designs.
Naray Designs.
Designs.
I love you. I thank you for sponsoring us.
Mr. Peace Productions, Got Gifts Outreach. We thank all of you guys, all of our sponsors. Hey, if you're interested in sponsorship opportunities, let us know. You know how to get in contact with us. I am CJ Blair. This is Tressa Azarel, and this is Boss Talk. We'll see you next
Peace.
week.
Boss up.